Bagseed Chronicles is a podcast about cannabis and the people who enjoy it. Hey guys, welcome to the Bagseed Chronicles. This is Uncle Dig, and I'd just like to say something real quick before we get started. To all the people of Afghanistan who fought for the past 20 years to make their country a better place, I'm sorry we lied to you. And I'm sorry that our government didn't take your safety more seriously. This wasn't your fault. All right, anyway, so we're going to have a garden update, and we're going to talk a little bit about something bad our government did that doesn't have to do with Afghanistan. All right, let's overgrow the world. Uncle Dig's garden update. Hi guys, the salsa garden is winding down with night temperatures and some other factors causing my tomatillos to no longer produce fruit. I will sadly only get one batch of salsa this year, but such is gardening. My peppers, on the other hand, are killing it. The serranos are starting to fade but are producing peppers every other day now. Same with the jalapenos. I have had fresh cilantro for my morning omelets as well as rainbow chilies, which I am afraid to eat. Now, onto my photo period cannabis. I will be listing strains in order of the most advanced flowering stage. All plants will receive CalMag at least one more time. My CBD Dutch treat that flowered early is in week 5 of flower. It got its first dose of cha-ching from Fox Farms today. It is smelling sweet, almost like candy. It has been building respectable bud girth even with the smoke, a possible side effect of my late third topping. Both Star Killer seedlings are in week 3 of flower and will receive beastie blooms every Friday starting today. They both smell citrusy to me, not of much else. They don't even really smell like cannabis yet, just slightly old lemons. One plant is looking very good. The other has barely any foliage on it, and just bud and a few leaves. It will be interesting to see how the unhappy one finishes. The other one is, I am assuming, going to be a very high yielder. My black domina plants are both doing excellent. They are in week 2 of flower and smell heavenly. One plant is a very herbal, earthy smell, while the other one smells like that, but with a deeper, mysterious purple note that I can't quite place. I look forward to these plants developing. They are already producing sizable buds for plants this early into flower. Now, my Alien OG just started poking out flower structures this week, so she will be getting her week 1 dose of open sesame. By the way, I bought these Fox Farm flowering newts like 3 years ago, and I'm going to run out next year. Does anyone have any recommendations of something to trial next year? I only grow in soil. Anyway, the Alien is too early into flower to suggest anything other than a vague sativa-y sweet smell that is gone almost as soon as it is detectable, but somehow still tickles the nose. I have high hopes that this may be the day smoke I've been looking for. My other 2 CBD Dutch treats are not very fragrant and are still just barely in veg. They will be getting what I imagine will be their last dose of age-old grow before they transition into flower today. While the Strawberry Dream Bagseed that I'm growing is more fragrant than my other vegging plants, it too will receive one more dose of age-old before it makes the transition into flower. And that's really it for my garden update. I'll be going into more detail as I start harvesting, probably in a couple of weeks, maybe even as many as 4. We'll just see how it goes. If you enjoyed this episode of Bagseed Chronicles, please share it with a friend. After all, the best bag seeds always are.
From Humboldt County, 420. Paraquat, shit that make you cough up snot.
That is, of course, Mac Dre off of his 1998 album Stupid Doo Doo Dumb. What is he talking about? Why would someone refer to cannabis as paraquat? Why, indeed, would it make you cough up snot? According to Lord Google, paraquat is a toxic chemical that is widely used as an herbicide, a plant killer, primarily for weed and grass control. In the United States, paraquat is available primarily as a liquid in various strengths. Per an article in the National Institute of Public Health's website from 1978, paraquat is a known pulmonary toxin. A pulmonary toxin is a toxin that damages lung tissue. Now, theoretically, it would really bad for cannabis to be sprayed with paraquat and then sold to consumers, being that burning and inhaling cannabis is the most common way to imbibe, and that setting paraquat on fire and then inhaling the fumes would make its adverse health effects even worse. Well, in 1978, it was discovered that this had happened in the American Southwest. The United States government had provided paraquat to the Mexican government to spray on illegal cannabis farms. From the Washington Post, dateline 4/22, 1978. The idea that paraquat would kill off the plants the way it helped defoliate Vietnam. But each season, the enterprising Mexican farmers harvest the stuff before it dies, and they ship it north. Since about 50 to 60% of the pot smoked in this country comes from Mexico, it is assumed that for the past 2 or 3 years, a large number of the 15 million regular marijuana smokers have inhaled a substance that has a slow, cumulative effect on their lungs. Is there any wonder why the bumper sticker of the moment in California reads, "Buy Colombian"? The controversial program was halted due to public outcry, as well it should have been. But then, along came Reagan. From the Christian Science Monitor, dateline April 9th, 1981, paraquat spraying in Mexico several years ago, funded by Washington, ended the nation's role as the #1 supplier to the U.S., but the funding was halted because of concern about health hazards to the American marijuana users. The Reagan administration's new budget restores money for the Drug Enforcement Administration that had been cut by the Carter administration, according to DEA Administrator Peter Benzinger. Paraquat exposure can cause Parkinson's disease and a long list of other horrible ailments. The United States drug enforcement agents, with direct approval from the executive branch, sprayed paraquat on cannabis crops in Colombia, Mexico, and other places in Central America. Within the United States, this chemical has been used on cannabis in the following states: Kentucky, Georgia, California, with the state of Georgia and Kentucky's tacit approvals. It is assumed, but not generally known, if this herbicide was used in other states. The DEA used this chemical on cannabis intermittently from 1973 until the last known halt of the program in 1990. So the United States government actively tried to poison cannabis users from 1973 to 1990. No one was ever punished for this, and some DEA agents from this program are still alive. In fact, they're getting paid your tax dollars to continue living into retirement. Remember, kids, don't let pigs in the garden. Put them in the pen where they belong. Let's overgrow the world. Special thanks to Lucas Barfield for assistance in production of this episode. Thank you for listening to Bagseed Chronicles. You can contact me on Instagram at Uncle Dig or at my email, uncledig4@gmail.com. The producer of the music found on this podcast is Chad DeVilliers. He can be found on YouTube at Ukuleles Are Stupid and on Instagram at Chadwick Enterprises.